Hi everyone, it's day 2 of me doing mixed media animation for my creative media course.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, so today I'm going to the library. Got my outfit. I look like I'm going in my pajamas. Anyways, I gotta get set up for like what I'm gonna be bringing to the library. And you might be like, why are you going to the library? I think I'll actually get some work done and I can actually go with my friends, you know what I mean? So I have everything. I'm gonna slot in the footage that I took yesterday. It is in the stop motion app, so the frames per second are not the same, and obviously it's kind of slow compared to what it's actually gonna be like, but this is what it looks like. I'm just gonna grab the rest of the sheets. I'm thinking about bringing at least maybe 10, so that means I would have like around 14 sheets to do today, which I think is enough. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, so I've organized all the frames I want to do today. It goes up to number 17, which should be fine. Hopefully I got that done. Now I just gotta organize what I want to bring with me today. Okay. What this project has taught me is that I have way too much hope in myself. I went to this library thinking I was going to complete 14 pages. Do you want to know how much I got done in the 3.5 hours I was at this library for? 1.5 pages, which is unacceptable. If I want to be able to complete my project on time, I have to be working at a faster pace, and obviously doing 1.5 pages in 3.5 hours is not good enough at all. Now I really don't understand why this happened because my friend wasn't distracting me, so the only things I can think of was that I had to wait for each individual line of my paint pens to dry. Because my paint pens are very watery, it means that even if I don't let it dry, it's going to smudge. So I had to wait for each part to dry. Now you might be thinking, you could just move on. But I have some mental block that I'm like, I can't move on until I get this page done. So obviously that is not a good mentality to have if I want to be able to complete this project on time. Now the other thing is I decided to go in with gouache paint. Now I have used gouache paint before, and that was for a splatter effect that I did in my testing and also in my last video. However, I had not used it to actually paint on the frames fully, and this was a bad mistake that I didn't test because I went in and originally I was like, oh my god, this looks horrendous, this looks bad, I don't like it, but I kept going at it for 2 hours when I could have just completely ripped it up and done something else. After the little to no work I did in the library, I decided to go home and actually complete stuff. Otherwise I was like, I'm not going to complete anything by May the 12th, and that started stressing me out. I was definitely stressed in this, and I was definitely like, I need to move on before I actually fail this course. Now here I'm again highlighting over the stupid lines because my paint pens don't dry. And this takes so long, so much effort. Now here I am cutting out the paint that I did earlier on. I have no idea why I took 2.5 hours of me just painting over the same thing. So here I'm just paper clipping the other paper on top of the spare paper that I had in the house. I'm so glad I had a spare piece of paper, otherwise I'd be done for. Now here I am going over the spare piece of paper with circles. I decided, should I go with stickers or should I animate circles? Should I go with the stickers first try because I hated the circles. So that meant I had to go in with the butterfly stickers and like put them at weird angles so that I could actually make it fit over the circles because I was like, oh my god, they look ugly. And I could not print. I don't have a printer in the house, so if I wanted to print, I'd have to ask my mum to go to work, and she wasn't going to work just to print out some piece of paper for me. Anyway, so I'm putting the stickers on, and I really like this technique. Now I decided to use the butterflies. I picked them up in the shop because I thought it would symbolize like the butterflies I felt before I performed on the stage, and just like butterflies, like excitement. That's what I kind of associated with them. So here I am still placing them on, and I decided to do it over like a page and a half because I thought that would be the best. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna grab my computer and I'm gonna look at what people said on my form. I use the form a lot because it helps me when it's coming up with new ideas to draw. So here I'm going in with oil pastels. Now I had used this in my testing and I was like, yes, I know how to do this. This isn't going to stress me out like the rest of the day has. So I'm just going over them in different colours. A lot of people said on the form rainbows, so I was like, I gotta include a rainbow. So here I'm including rainbows. Now, I did mention in my last video, I think, that I use yellow, blue, and pink, as those were also recommended in my form where it asked what symbols or drawings or colours they associate with happiness. Now, here is the final video of the day. I hope you like it.